What happens when you put a passionate yoga instructor
and a NASCAR-loving businessman together in the same recording studio?
Happy Vibes Podcast, a fun and innovative podcast where Tamara patiently attempts to enlighten Sean on the subtle art of yoga,
connecting you to your highest self and living your best life.
Hi, I'm Sean Whitfield, along with Tamara, and welcome to Happy Vibes Podcast. All right, Tamara, this is our third segment of chakra.
Oh, you said that so well. A lot of people say chakra. It's actually a hard ch sound.
Chakra. So
Chakra.
This is going to be our third segment, and we're going to be diving into that in just a moment. However, before we get started, I wanted to bring up a couple of things related to our everyday lives. And of course, we're all currently in May 2020 still living in the pandemic of COVID-19 or the coronavirus. And so my question to you is how different is your life as far as you've been staying home a lot like all of us have? Have you found that it's been a time that you've been able to do home projects that maybe you'd been putting off for a while? Is it an opportunity that you've maybe played some board games with your daughters that you don't normally play, or any new hobbies? Kind of what's been going on with Tamara?
Well, definitely my life has changed. It's actually, I think, a little bit better because I'm taking more time to focus on being quiet, not rushing around from here to there. In fact, things are starting to pick up a little bit now. I'm kind of like, I was kind of enjoying like this little break. Because it seems like every day there's school, there's volleyball, there's going to work full time. I'm teaching yoga classes. Every single day there's something to do. And it's rush here, rush there. And, you can get addicted to being busy. And
youngest daughter, she has been very involved in...
Oh, yeah. Also being like a homeschooling, right? So you have to have something that's not what I'm used to. Because not even going to lie, they're way smarter than I am. Like, don't even ask me for help with your math.
and I hear they're much smarter than their dad as well. So
I don't know. I always joke and saying it's not really a joke. It's like kidding, not kidding. The only way I passed college math was my mom did my homework. But she would tell me enough at least so I could pass the test.
Well, what I was kind of wondering about is, have you been finding that you're doing some of those things at home that you hadn't normally been able to do? Because I've been talking to other friends and they said, I played 5 hours of Monopoly last Saturday.
Ooh,
I hadn't played Monopoly.
My eyes would be crossed.
I hadn't played Monopoly in years. I finally, painted the bathroom that I'd been wanting to do for several years, or I did this project that my wife has been on me to do for over a year, and I just hadn't had time to do it. Has there been anything like that you can go, I feel relieved because I finally got this off my to-do list?
I do. I have gotten a lot of closet organization done.
Well, that's a good thing.
It is. But also, I think we have this opportunity with so much time, but it's hard to harness all of that because we feel like slugs. Like it's the law of energy, like things at rest stay at rest.
Now, that's something I haven't felt in a while. It's feeling like a slug.
Oh, yeah. Like you get laying around and you don't want to do anything. You just want to lay there. So it's hard. Sometimes I feel like it's better if you're in a routine, you have to get up, get your day started, staying with that routine. And that's actually something that's recommended for people who are working from home is to stay in your routine as much as possible to prevent the slug-like feeling, the depression, the anxiety. Because when you're alone with yourself a lot, anxiety can build. Your mind can be like your worst enemy.
Well, speaking for myself, I thought that I was going to be able to get several home projects done because there's several on my list. However, I haven't even been able to start on any of them.
Well, I suspect it's not because you're feeling like a slug.
Well, I was thinking through all this pandemic. Okay, I'm going to be able to spend a little bit of time at home. I haven't spent one day.
Why is that?
Well, my world has continued on. It's changed a little bit here and there. And, there's certainly been challenges that go along with times like this in the business world. but I've found that my routine has pretty much stayed the same.
So, okay, we know you're a big fitness buff. How has your routine as far as working out changed with all the gyms being closed?
Well, I was able to have a friend that had a small gym behind their house, and I was able to go over there a few days a week. So that kind of kept me going through the toughest of times when the executive order had came down on the state of Tennessee and city of Chattanooga where gyms were closed. And then once that was lifted a week and a half or so ago, then I got back into the gym that I typically go to on a regular basis. And it was like being back home.
So what did you notice? Was it different than what you're used to when you go to the gym?
Oh, for sure. I went from being in a gym that's probably 20,000 square feet to being in a little gym that was probably 900 square feet and hardly any of the equipment that I'm accustomed to. But
No, I'm talking about when you return back to your normal gym routine. Because I'm sure there's different things they've implemented to, maintain the 6 feet apart. Did you have to sign up for a special spot?
No, you don't have to do anything like that. You're asked 3 questions when you walk in the door. Once you answer those 3 questions, providing you pass the test, then you are asked to put some sanitizer in your hands, and there's signs posted throughout the gym for social distancing, and then you have to sanitize or wipe down, any equipment that you touch while you're there. And so it's a lot of the basic protocols that most businesses are abiding by, except it's a little bit more critical in a health club or gym environment because you got a lot of people touching a lot of equipment. Mm-hmm. But it was nice to be back in there. It was a sense of peace. It was a sense of normalcy.
Because that's your happy place.
Yeah, especially when it doesn't seem like life has been normal.
It does. Well, I was able to teach my first in-person yoga class this week. And it just made me so
you've been doing
happy.
Virtual yoga.
We've been doing live streaming on Zoom, which I'm not going to lie, that's just not my favorite.
I was going to say, how is that something that has done well, or you're finding that a lot of people just hadn't gotten into the virtual live streaming yoga?
Well, I enjoy taking Zoom classes. I don't enjoy teaching Zoom classes. So there's that. But when we had our in-person yoga, we only have 5 people who are allowed. So you have to sign up because the spots go fast. And it was really kind of interesting. Afterward, what I did was I sprayed a fine mist of like Clorox over the entire floor, just to help sanitize. And everybody brings their own. We don't use props. Everyone brings their own yoga mat, and everyone's spaced out 6 feet apart. So that was different.
Yeah. Well, it's certainly interesting to see how each one of us are kind of choosing to live our own lives and remain healthy and remain safe. All right, let's dive right into what today's Happy Vibes podcast is all about, and that is we're going to talk about segment 3 of chakra.
Okay, so we've been doing a series on the chakras, which is our energy centers along the spine, and there are 7 of them. We've already talked about the first chakra, which is the root chakra, the second chakra, the sacral chakra, and today we're going to talk about the solar plexus. So the solar plexus is the seat of our personal power, and it is located above the navel but below your sternum. So if you can just kind of put your hand there, you kind of feel like sometimes that's where your gut intuition is. Well, the color for our solar plexus is a yellow, a bright, vibrant golden yellow. So you can just envision that if you want to meditate on your solar plexus and just see that warm, bright yellow color. The center of our solar plexus is also associated with our egos and our personal power, our personal self-beliefs. So if it's activated, we can have the courage to do things that we're scared to do. Like I was just talking to somebody, podcasting is scary for me. It's totally foreign from what I usually do, which is healthcare. Like I'm one-on-one with people. So that's stepping out of my comfort zone. What's something you've done lately, Sean, to step out of your comfort zone?
Oh my. I can't think of anything at the moment.
Maybe your solar plexus is out of balance.
Yeah, that's not the only thing out of balance. I don't have an answer for you.
I'm going to have to think of something. Maybe yoga.
So much of my business world has not been around a lot of people. Doing things more with email and phone calls and.
So you think, in your opinion, you have to be around other people to do something new or out of your routine?
Well, yeah, I mean, I've been more confined to my office.
I think we're going to have to do some work, Sean, on your solar plexus.
I haven't, I haven't done any public speaking before a group or any of that kind of stuff.
You think that would be out of your comfort zone? You seem very comfortable speaking.
It's not so much out of my comfort zone. It's just something I don't do very often. I do radio on a weekly basis, several times a week on various programs, and do television somewhat on a routine basis, at least maybe once a month. Used to do it a lot more often for about 10 years.
I'm going to think really hard, and by this time next week, I'll have something for you to try that you've never tried before, so we can balance.
I don't know if I want to know what that
plexus.
is.
I know. Dun, da, da, da.
But that's a question I'll have to continue to ponder.
Well, some physical manifestations of your imbalance could be anything digestive related, like gas, nausea, ulcers.
Oh, just like what I love to think about.
It is. But we're all humans, so we all experience those things.
So if you're feeling a little gassy, huh?
Yeah, then maybe you're a little bit imbalanced in your solar plexus. So those would be some of the like.
If for those vegetarians, if they had some good meat, they could take care of some of that.
Well, I always say, just
hint.
A helpful hint: soak your beans before you cook them. That's supposed to help decrease the and then you just pour that water off and don't use that water.
I'll remember that.
Just like helpful hint of the day. So those are physical manifestations, but maybe some emotional ones might be like a victim mentality, or you're settling for a dull existence. Some things that can get our chakra out of balance for our solar plexus would be like criticism or rejection. Those are two big contributors. Mm-hmm. I don't think, if you watch any TV, like where they're doing reality, nobody wants to be rejected. That's like always their biggest fear. Like, I don't want rejection. Mm-hmm. I think that's just part of our human experience, though, don't you?
Mm-hmm. I do.
So, would you like to know how to open and balance your solar plexus?
Yes.
One of them would be to seek out new experiences, which I'm going to come up with some very good ones for you by next week.
I cannot wait.
I know. Neither can our listeners.
And I'm sure you can't either. I'm going to be set up.
Another way to help balance your solar plexus is dancing. I don't know how, but that was what I read when I was researching. So maybe you could do salsa dancing to do something new. You're doing 2 for 1.
No salsa dancing.
I don't know. I heard that you like to salsa dance.
I can get my groove on with other types of dancing.
Okay, maybe you can Zumba.
I'm a good break dancer.
Oh, so you can like do the moonwalk?
Yeah, I'm good at that. Yeah.
I have actually seen you dancing in person. It was quite entertaining.
I was going to say, that was you. I'm sure you enjoyed that.
I don't know if that was the liquor.
No, I wasn't licking her.
Well, and of course, yoga helps to balance and open up our sacral chakra, our solar plexus chakra. So another thing, which is kind of obvious, would be to eat more yellow foods. So what would be your favorite yellow food? Bananas.
Candy corn.
Squash.
And I'm into squash.
Corn from the stalk. Not candy corn.
Now that I think about it, there's really not anything yellow that I eat on a regular basis.
Wow. Yeah. I offered to bring you some banana nut bread.
Yeah, I decided I didn't want to
that would have been yellow.
Have the carbs. So, but no, there's nothing that comes to my mind.
Sean, carbs are a friend.
It depends on how much you have of carbs.
If I don't have my carbs, I get a headache. So I'm like, I need some carbs.
Yeah. But, well, that's interesting. I didn't know all that was related.
I was just wondering, do you eat corn chips?
No. No. Occasionally at a Mexican restaurant.
Oh, occasionally.
But I've refrained from those quite a bit in the last few weeks.
That's hard to do, but you can fill up just eating the chips and salsa before your meal comes
out. I was in a Mexican place just a few days ago, and I bet you I didn't eat more than half a dozen chips.
Ooh, that's 6?
Yeah. Yeah.
What self-control.
I know.
Well, another thing you can do is drink herbal teas. My favorite herbal tea is chai tea. That's not really yellow, so I don't know if that counts. What's your favorite herbal tea?
I don't have one.
Okay, so one of our challenges for something new is for Sean to drink herbal tea.
Oh, no.
It'll be a surprise next week.
No, we got to give me a better challenge than that. That's like punishment. That'd be like the punishment of the program.
So like my mantra is just fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it. So maybe that's some helpful hints on how you can balance your solar plexus.
All right. Anything else we should know about chakra here in our segment 3?
I think everybody should definitely stay tuned for next week so we can see what the challenge was that Sean got to do to experience something new.
I cannot
That's the cliffhanger.
Wait.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm going to have some sleepless nights just getting ready for this.
I'm sure if you have sleepless nights, it's not from worrying about the chakra challenge.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, this has been another enjoyable yoga, Happy Vibes Yoga podcast. And so for those out there that are listening that want to get more information or they want to get locked into communicating with you and hearing more podcasts, how can they do that?
Oh, I would love for them to visit my Facebook page, which is Happy Vibes Podcast, and also my YouTube channel where you have free weekly uploads on yoga. And a lot of times I do special ones on the chakra. So those would be, if you have any questions, then you can take one of those classes and maybe we'll dive a little bit deeper.
And folks can subscribe to your YouTube channel?
Absolutely. Then they get notifications.
Anytime you post something new?
Anytime I post something new.
All right. Well, that sounds great. Any final words before we wrap up today's Happy Vibes podcast?
I just want to wish all our listeners happiness, health, and bliss. Namaste, Sean.
Namaste. And that does it for this edition of Happy Vibes podcast. For Tamara, I'm Sean Whitfield. Thank you so much for listening.